Hello and welcome again to LearnMyComputer.com. I'm Joel Marshall and this is lesson number 4, and we're talking about selecting files on the computer. We're still talking about that, if you can believe it. The reason I'm spending so much time on this is because it's very important in the long run that you know the concepts of selecting files, because everything else becomes easier if you do this. I see people all the time who are computer users and have been using them for years and still don't understand these concepts, and it causes them a lot of frustration. So that's what we're trying to avoid here, frustration with a computer, because we know it is common. So here we go. I am talking about selecting files. Last time we selected files by dragging from an empty area on the screen and clicking and dragging until we had a box, and that box, whatever it covers, it selects. When I let go of the button, I've selected a whole group of objects. I can click and drag them around by just clicking one of them and dragging them. On the Mac, it makes a little number, shows you how many objects you have. It also does a weird little animation thing where it kind of stacks them all on top of each other. That's just a weird Apple thing, just a graphical thing that they do just for fun. And then when you let go, they go back to their original configuration wherever you have dragged them. So that's what we have going on here. Now, what happens if I want to select two files but they're not right next to each other? Let's say, for instance, I want to click on Man on Fire and I want to have Yin Yang. They're all the way on opposite sides here. Well, I could try drawing a box, but as soon as I do that, I get all the other files. And that doesn't really help me very much. I could select them one at a time, move them independently. That's okay, but as soon as I get a lot of files and they're all kind of mixed up and I want to move just certain ones, that gets to be a problem, because it just, one at a time is not quite as fast as two. So here's what we do. There is a button on your keyboard called the Command key. And I have a graphical representation of a keyboard down here, and I'm going to show you where that key is. It's to the left of your spacebar and to the right of your spacebar. Command in Mac language, the symbol looks like this strange symbol. You'll see it on your keyboard too, and also the word command, just to remind you that that is the Command key, and that is the command symbol. This graphical keyboard that I have here, just so you know, we're going to be using in the tutorials to show you what button I'm pushing down on the keyboard. So when I push on the Command key, you'll see the Command key turns gray. So that's just so you know, when I'm holding that down, you can see it down there that I'm holding it down. And when I let go, you can see that I've let go of it. That might come in handy. So right now I'm going to hold down the Command key. I'm going to keep it down. I've got Man on Fire selected, and now I'm going to just click once on Yin Yang, and boom, I've got both of them selected. And I can move them wherever I want to move them. I can hold down the Command key and move them, or I can just move them with the Command key off. Once I've selected them, they're mine until I select elsewhere. If I select elsewhere, they'll both become deselected. If I want to select them again, hold down the Command key, click on one, and then the other, and then let go of the Command key, and then I can drag them wherever I want them to go. They all move together, though, while I've got them selected. Alright, so this works for more than two files, of course. If I hold down the Command key and click Letter to Joel, Contact, Flag, Waving, Yin Yang, Picture of Joel, I've got them all. I let go of the Command key. I can drag them wherever I want them to go. That's pretty handy, especially when you have a whole lot of files. One of the things that people do, however, is they spend a lot of time selecting which files they're going to move, and then they forget to hold down the Command key. You want to hold down the Command key until you're done with this thing, and you can lift it up occasionally, but don't do this. Don't lift up the Command key and have it not held down and then select another file, because all the other ones will become deselected. And if you worked a long time to select files while holding down the Command key, and then suddenly you forget and click on a file and it deselects the other ones, a lot of times people are very upset because they've spent so much time selecting files, and you really can't go back once you've done that. So that's why it's a good idea to practice this, just selecting files while holding down the Command key. Now, what happens if I select files and folders, by the way, and then all of a sudden I realize, there's one of them that I don't want? Well, don't worry. If you hold down the Command key, you can deselect a file as well, or a folder. So when you click on an item while holding down the Command key, it selects it if it's not selected, and it deselects it if it's already selected. So that's good to know too. So that gives you a lot of control. By using this Command key, it gives you a lot of control. That's all we're going to talk about today. It's just selecting using the Command key. I would really like you to practice this. I practice it myself all the time because it is very useful, and you will push yourself farther ahead of a lot of people who are using computers if you can understand this concept and get really good at it. Because it doesn't take much time to get good at it, but if you ignore it, you're going to be frustrated. If you have any questions, please email me at joel@learnmycomputer.com, joel@learnmycomputer.com. I will do my best to answer your questions and help you out, because I want you to understand this stuff. And I will see you next week on learnmycomputer.com.